Hey, welcome back to the channel. In this week's video, we are going to talk condos, and specifically, should you pay more for a newer condo or should you spend less money on something older? What are the pros and cons, and what's the best fit for you? Real quick, if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Hasan. I'm a real estate agent in the Vancouver area, and I make educational real estate content to help you on your real estate journey. When I'm not making videos like this, I'm helping people just like you buy and sell real estate across the Lower Mainland. So if that sounds interesting to you and you wanted to chat with me one-on-one about your real estate situation, you can book me for a free call in the Calendly link below or on screen, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a future weekly video. All right, I hope you had a wonderful week. So why are we talking about condos in this video? We're sitting here in the middle of February, heading into what we refer to as the spring market in real estate. Things are starting to pick up. I'm definitely feeling this week especially a lot more activity on listings, a lot more showings, a lot more buyer consultations over the last couple of weeks. And what I've noticed this year is a lot of that is kind of hovering around the condo space. And a question that's come up in some of my conversations, but also some of my posts on social media is, what sort of condo should I be looking at? And this is different from the conversation between, should I buy a pre-sale that completes many years from now or in a couple of years from now, or should I buy a property that exists today? I've done several videos on that, but I specifically wanted to talk about if you're in the market for buying a condo, you're going to see a whole glut of listings in newer completed buildings that are vacant. They're pretty much brand new. You're not buying them off of a developer though. You're buying them off of the pre-sale purchaser. So we're going to talk about some of the advantages of buying in that direction, what you need to watch for. And then on the flip side, buying something older, which generally is going to come at a lower cost. So the big thing about buying something that's near new or brand new, it just completed, and you're the second set of owner, but you're basically getting a brand new unit, is that unit is going to come with a warranty. Here in Canada, a builder's warranty is mandated on new construction. We refer to that as a 2-5-10 warranty, and that just specifically aligns to the years of different portions of that warranty. So you get a 2-year warranty on materials and labor, you get a 5-year warranty on building envelope, and then you get a 10-year warranty on anything structural with the development. I want to pull out the 5-year warranty piece, which is referred to as building envelope. Now, what you want to think about with building envelope is basically, every component that is between the exterior and the interior comprises this building envelope. So the thing that you're really guarding against with that type of warranty is water penetration from exterior to interior. And again, on a new build, you get a 5-year warranty for that building envelope. The reason I want to bring up the building envelope piece is when we're looking at older buildings, one of the biggest issues with some older buildings out there has been the building envelope. Now, if you've been around for some time, back in the late 90s, I believe it was, early 2000s, we started to have what was called the leaky condo crisis here in BC, where we had all of these buildings having water penetration issues from exterior to interior because they didn't have a solid enough building envelope. They didn't have what we call a rain screen barrier that would basically be a barrier to keep the rain out from inside the building. So over time, these buildings got leaky. What happened is it turned into such a significant problem is that in the late 90s in cities around Vancouver, I think in Vancouver it was 1997, they mandated it and they said you have to have what we call rain screen technology. You have to have that barrier in place. So in Vancouver, that was from 97 onwards. Other cities started to adopt it in the next couple of years, and by 2006, that's when the province came out and said, rain screen is just mandatory across the province. So if you are looking at something that is older as opposed to something newer that we just talked about, you're going to want to see when was that older building built. And if it was built after 2006, you're safe that it's going to have rain screen. Of course, you want to double check in the minutes and the depreciation report that it has that technology. But a lot of buildings that are older than that, they don't have the rain screen in place, or through time they have updated the rain screen. They have done what's called, a partial rain screen or a full rain screen. So one of the benefits of buying something new is you get the latest, we'll call it technology or building technology that's out there. So of course, when it comes to building components, it's going to be the latest and greatest when you're buying new. From a features perspective, so one that I'll throw out there right away is air conditioning. In a lot of these buildings, central air conditioning didn't become a common thing for condos. Probably until 2019, 2020 is when it really started to get integrated into most condos out there. Usually condos on the higher end, they had AC for a while, but now it's pretty much standard. But if you see a building that's 2019, even 2020, if it was built in the couple of years prior to that, there's a chance that it doesn't have air conditioning in there. So that would be, another benefit of having something newer is you get, the latest and greatest. The other benefit with buying something newer is, the scale of amenities. And of course, you're going to pay for this, but the scale of amenities has just increased so much. They're really building these new condo buildings so that you really don't even have to leave your condo. I'm specifically thinking about a project in Burnaby, has some of the most insane amount of amenities I've ever seen. You have everything from hot pools, cold pools, sauna, steam room, bowling alley, a football launch where you can throw footballs, a couple gyms spanning over multiple layers, a full child care center is what I would call it, a full child play area, and it's not like a little cordoned off section. This is like a full area where kids can play, different rooms. The list goes on. Again, you do pay for these through your strata fees, but if you're buying something that you're going to live in, the question you want to ask yourself is, what amenities am I actually going to use? Do I have a gym membership outside of where I live right now? Could I get rid of the gym membership and move into one of these buildings and take advantage of these amenities? So you're going to have the full suite of amenities in something newer. They're building something in Port Moody right now. I believe it has an ice rink that's going to be part of the amenities. So the amenities are really getting, more extensive, if you will. Now, the other benefit I mentioned kind of off the top, if we're talking about a newer condo, is you are not the original purchaser in most cases, or when the circumstance I'm talking about. Specifically, I'm talking about a new condo completes. The pre-sale buyer has, of course, already bought. They complete on it and they list it right away. And so what happens is, the thing that you have to watch for is the question comes up surrounding GST, right? Because GST, even if it was paid at completion, which typically it would be if that original purchaser was an individual, typically it would be, that doesn't mean that GST won't get charged again. I don't want to dive too deep into the whole GST spectrum in this video, but that's something you need to watch for, is if you're writing an offer on a property that, again, has already been purchased once by that first purchaser, you're the second owner, do not assume that you are not going to see a bill for GST. There's ways to protect yourself for this, but just keep that in mind with a newer condo. But when you're doing the negotiation with these newer condos, especially right now where a lot of these new condos have completed at the same time, you as a buyer are in the driver's seat. So I would say that you can get a much better deal on one of these newer condos right now than you could have in years past. And sometimes it can mitigate a little bit the difference between, purchasing, again, something that's newer and something that's older. So let's jump over now to why you might purchase something that is an older condo. So one of the big differences between old versus new is generally speaking, and you may be aware of this, is as time has gone on, these new condos have shrunk. And they've shrunk and they've shrunk, and a lot of the floor plans have gotten really tight. They've gotten really conservative, very small floor plans. It's very difficult to find in a newer building large floor plans, and these are specifically helpful for people that are maybe downsizing. They have a lot of furniture, or they want to actually raise a family, a young family in a condo space. The opportunities for that in newer buildings have really shrunk away. There are some newer buildings that have very large floor plans, including a building I've had a listing in recently. We just sold it, but it had a very large, a 2-bedroom floor plan, over 1,200 square feet. And everyone coming in to view it, for the most part, we're downsizers saying, you know what, we need to move from a detached home into a larger condo, and we just haven't been able to find the space in a newer building. So one of the benefits is if you go and look at older condos, you're going to find two things. You're going to find larger floor plans, but you're also going to find floor plans that are less cookie cutter, is what we refer to it as. Less cookie cutter. You're going to have more, more variation in floor plan. It's not going to be like a box. A lot of the floor plans now, you walk in and you step right into the kitchen, and then right in front of you, you have the dining room, the living room, you have a bedroom on the left, a bedroom on the right, a balcony straight ahead, and there's your box. And that's kind of what the general concept of many new buildings. I don't want to blanket it and say they're all like that. They're definitely not, but a lot of the newer buildings kind of have that functional sort of floor plan, which really good for investors. You have the separated bedrooms. You have one on one side, one on the other, which is a feature to have. Great for having tenants in there. You're utilizing most of the space, but from a livability perspective, definitely in conversations I'm having with clients and prospective buyers, is they love the space of these older condos, and you're not able to find them in many cases in newer. So you may look to go for something that's a little bit older. If you need that extra space, you want more bang for your buck, you want more value. The price per square foot on these older condos is of course lower, so you are generally going to get them at a better price. Now, I talked earlier in this video about rain screening, and the thing that you want to be cognizant of is, as a building, just like anything, as it goes through its lifetime, it's going to require different maintenance items and different upgrades along the way. And a period of time where you're going to see a lot of upgrades required, and a lot of this will come directly out of your pocket. Even if you're paying strata fees, a lot of this is going to come by way of special levy. That period of time you really want to watch for is between 20 and 35 years, or 25 and 40 years. This is when you start to have some building components that need refreshing. You're going to have the roof upcoming. A lot of times you're going to have balcony membranes. Balconies sometimes need to be redone during this time frame. Depending on when it's built, you might have to do some plumbing repiping. Again, depending on when that building was built. Windows are a little bit further along, but that's on the horizon. Elevator upgrades as well. And so these are costly upgrades that come up after that, again, that 20-25 year mark that you need to be cognizant of. Having said that, every building is different, and this is why it's so difficult to look at a building and give a valuation on what a unit is worth in that building, and then look at the neighboring building and just try and compare apples to apples, because every building is so different and every building has done a different set of work. I'm specifically thinking of a building close to me here in New West where they have just redone pretty much everything. It's an older building, all on the water here, but they have redone all at the same time. They've done the windows, the balconies, the full rain screening, the exterior. I believe they recently did the roof, a massive capital project. And so sometimes if you're looking for something older, you look for a building like this that has done a lot of the work that, the original owner has paid out of pocket for the work. They may try and recoup that back, some of it back, but they're not going to get all of it back. And sometimes you can buy these older buildings that are pretty much new. Buildings have phases of life, and they have to, just like humans, we're infants, and then we're teenagers, and then we're adults, and then we're seniors, and so buildings are kind of the same. Like, you have to upgrade. As we upgrade ourselves as we go along, you have to upgrade the building. And sometimes if you buy immediately after one of those upgrades, you're actually getting really good value for it. Now, before I continue and tell you what I think is the perfect age of building, I created a condo red flag guide. I'm going to link to it right here. This is a free guide that I created, not through AI. I sat there, my thoughts, and it's basically my top 10 condo red flags and deal breakers when I'm assessing condos for my clients. So they're basically the first things I look at when we are viewing condos, and a client tells me, I like this one. What can you tell me about the building? Is this a good building? This guide basically contains the first 10 things I'm looking for, and it basically will tell me, okay, here's a bit of a red flag. Here's further investigation I need to do to say, look, is this going to be a problem building? Is this a good building? So again, created this free guide. It's there for you. You can click the link. It'll be down in the description, but also on the screen. But click the link if you want that free guide. We'll send it out to you. Hopefully you'll find it helpful. But I want to answer the question, perfect age of building, all things being equal, what is the age of building that I would buy? And for myself personally, I think if you can find something that's between the 10 and the 13-year mark, I personally think that is the perfect age of building. I'm going to tell you why. So when you hit the 10-year mark of a building, like I mentioned off the top, you had a 2, 5, 10 warranty. So in fact, your warranty has expired. But what happens at the 5-year mark and the 10-year mark is a building is going to get a warranty review done by an engineering firm. They're going to come out and they're going to, at the 5-year mark, they're going to look at the building envelope. They're going to see if there are any issues. If there are, they're going to submit a report to the developer to rectify these warranty items. That same thing is going to happen at the 10-year mark as well. So when you're buying between 10 and 13 years, you just have so much data on that building to work with. Number one, you're going to have that 5-year warranty report. You're going to see how the developer actioned the items. On the 10-year, the same thing. You're going to have that warranty report. How did the developer actually action those items? A new mandate here in BC for a depreciation report every 5 years, meaning that they go through every component of the building, its shelf life, how much is left remaining, how is it doing so far? Is it actually, performing as it should? So you will have at least 1, maybe 2 depreciation reports to review. Not only that, but at the 10 to 13-year mark, the strata fee is going to stabilize. A lot of times in new buildings, the strata fee that you are quoted when you first get the keys changes rapidly in the first 3 or 4 years before it levels out, while the strata corporation figures out its budget and understands how to operate effectively and what it's going to cost. So by the 10-year mark, you have this stability. You can see the track record of that strata fee. You also get an idea of the strata. Are they a proactive strata? Do they generally get all things done that are necessary? Are they kicking a lot of things that should be done, but they're not actually getting it done? You get an idea of that at the 10 to 13-year mark. And of course, you have your 2 years worth of strata minutes to review as well. So if you follow my channel for a bit, I'm a big believer in data. I think knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better you can make good decisions. And at the 10 to 13-year mark, you have all of this data on the building, but like we just spoke about, you generally will have a lot of runway before the significant expenses come up. Again, generally, I can't speak for every building, but you're probably not looking at anything too large until the 20, 25-year mark. So you have runway if you're buying, say, an 11 or 12-year-old building. You should be pretty good from a cost perspective in terms of what you'll have to outlay, special levy wise, if you will. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you think someone else might learn from it, consider sharing this video with a friend. And if you like weekly real estate content, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss next week's video. And lastly, again, if you're in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver or the Fraser Valley, you want to chat with me about your real estate situation, you can book me for a free call, or you can just give me a call. Send me a text, shoot me an email, whatever's easiest for you, but I would love to chat with you. I want to thank you again for watching this week's video, and I look forward to seeing you next week.